But the biggest question remains, will Tesla's India gamble pay off? The excitement is real, the market is massive, and the potential is undeniable. But success isn't guaranteed. Infrastructure challenges, competition, and regulatory hurdles could still slow things down. For now, one thing is certain. Tesla's arrival in India marks the beginning of a new era. The story isn't over, it's just getting started. And as the world watches, the next chapter in Tesla's global expansion is set to unfold in one of the most dynamic markets yet. As the dust settles from Tesla's big announcement, the reality of what lies ahead begins to take shape. Excitement fills the air, but so do challenges. Customers eagerly await details on pricing and delivery timelines, while industry experts analyze how Tesla's entry will reshape India's electric vehicle landscape. Meanwhile, the government is watching closely, ensuring Tesla follows through on its manufacturing promise. The pressure is immense, but so is the opportunity. Tesla's website sees a surge in traffic from India, with potential buyers exploring every detail about the Model 3 and Model I. But questions remain, will these cars be affordable enough for Indian consumers? While Tesla is a premium brand worldwide, India's auto market is largely driven by affordability and practicality. The first batch of Tesla imports will likely serve a niche market, but if local production begins, prices could drop, making Tesla accessible to a wider audience. The company's long-term success in India depends on how well it balances its brand image with market demands. On the ground, Indian automakers are already shifting gears. Tata Motors fast-tracks its next-generation EVs, Mahindra expands its charging infrastructure, and even traditional fuel-powered brands start investing more in electric mobility. Tesla's arrival is no longer just about one company. It has triggered a transformation across the entire auto industry. The race to dominate India's EV market has officially begun. At the same time, Tesla's ambitions go beyond cars. Its talks around energy storage solutions gain momentum, with reports suggesting possible collaborations with Indian firms to bring Powerwall and battery storage technology to the country. If successful, this move could revolutionize how Indian homes and businesses manage electricity, especially in areas with frequent power outages. Tesla isn't just selling cars, it's positioning itself as a key player in India's clean energy future. As the first Tesla cars prepare to hit Indian roads, the excitement is undeniable. The long wait is finally over, and yet this is just the beginning of a much bigger story. Will Tesla thrive in India, or will it struggle to adapt to the country's unique market dynamics? That remains to be seen. But one thing is clear, Tesla has arrived, and nothing will be the same again. India's EV revolution has entered a new phase, and the road ahead is full of possibilities. Tesla is on the edge of something massive in India. It could redefine the country's EV landscape, challenge the biggest players, and bring its global innovation to a new audience. But will it happen now, or will the story take an unexpected turn? The moment of truth is near, and all eyes are on what happens next. Just as it seems like Tesla's India entry is on the verge of being finalized, a new complication throws everything into doubt. Reports emerge that another global automaker is planning a major expansion in India, one that could directly challenge Tesla's position before it even enters the market. Speculation grows that BYD, the Chinese EV giant, is preparing to ramp up production in India, securing local partnerships, and aggressively pushing its electric models. If Tesla delays any longer, will it lose its first-mover advantage in the premium EV space? Meanwhile, behind closed doors, Tesla's negotiations with the Indian government take an unexpected turn. Insider sources suggest that the company is pushing for deeper policy changes than previously thought. It's not just about import duties anymore. Tesla wants long-term guarantees on regulations, infrastructure support, and even potential subsidies for setting up a gigafactory. But will the Indian government agree to such demands, especially with local automakers pushing for a level playing field? The tension between Tesla's ambitions and India's industrial policies is reaching a breaking point. Then another shockwave. A leaked document suggests that Tesla is exploring a different strategy, one that could bypass traditional dealerships altogether and sell directly to Indian consumers through its online platform. If true, this could completely disrupt the country's automotive retail model, cutting out middlemen and challenging industry norms. But will India's regulatory framework allow such a move? Established car dealers are already pushing back, warning that Tesla's direct sales model could set a precedent that shakes up the entire industry. At the same time, Tesla's potential customers are growing restless. Every new hint, every rumor only fuels more questions. Will Tesla start by launching the high-end Model S and Model X, making its India debut exclusive to the ultra-rich? Or will it introduce the more affordable Model 3 and Model I, giving a larger audience a chance to enter the Tesla ecosystem? And what about charging infrastructure? Without Tesla's supercharger network in place, how practical will owning a Tesla be for the average Indian buyer? With competition heating up, government negotiations intensifying, and the company's strategy still shrouded in secrecy, Tesla's India entry is no longer just a business decision. It's turning into a high-stakes chess match. Every move from here on will define Tesla's fate in one of the most dynamic auto markets in the world. But just when the pieces seem to be falling into place, another unexpected twist may change everything again. And then the moment everyone has been waiting for, Tesla finally makes its move. In a late-night announcement, the company confirms its entry into India, revealing plans to introduce the Model 3 and Model I as its first offerings. The cars will be imported initially, but with a twist. Tesla commits to setting up a gigafactory in India within the next 2 years. The news sends shockwaves through the industry. After years of uncertainty, speculation, and stalled negotiations, Tesla is officially coming to India. The announcement is met with a mix of excitement and skepticism. On one hand, Tesla fans erupt with joy, flooding social media with reactions. Orders for the first batch of cars are expected to open within weeks, and anticipation is at an all-time high. On the other hand, critics are quick to point out the challenges ahead. Will Tesla's high import prices limit its reach to only the wealthiest buyers? Will the government hold the company to its manufacturing commitment, or will more policy debates delay progress? Just as it seems Tesla has everything under control, another twist shakes the narrative. A fresh report surfaces suggesting that Tesla isn't just entering India for electric vehicles. It's also exploring the potential for energy storage solutions. The company has reportedly been in talks with Indian authorities about launching its Powerwall and battery storage technology, aiming to support the country's renewable energy goals. This changes everything. Tesla's India entry is no longer just about cars. It's about transforming the entire energy landscape. Rival automakers scramble to respond. Tata and Mahindra announce accelerated EV production plans, while BYD pushes ahead with its aggressive India strategy. Meanwhile, traditional fuel-powered car makers, sensing the shift, begin adjusting their long-term strategies. Tesla hasn't even delivered a single car yet, and it has already forced the industry to adapt. For Tesla, India is a market full of potential, but also one filled with complexities. The company has disrupted the automotive industry in country after country, setting new standards for electric vehicles and pushing traditional automakers to evolve. But in India, Tesla isn't just facing business challenges. It's stepping into a political and economic battleground where every move is being watched. The government, the competition, and even the consumers all have their own stakes in this game. Elon Musk has made it clear that Tesla prefers to manufacture where it sells. But setting up a gigafactory in India isn't as simple as picking a location and breaking ground. Land acquisition, regulations, labor laws, everything comes with layers of negotiations. Tesla has reportedly scouted locations in Maharashtra, Gujarat, and Tamil Nadu, all of which are vying to host the electric car giant. These states are offering incentives, hoping to bring Tesla's investment, jobs, and technology within their borders. But with Tesla's history of tough negotiations, will India's policymakers agree to the company's demands, or will Tesla have to compromise? Meanwhile, local automakers are watching closely. Tata Motors and Mahindra have spent years developing electric vehicles specifically designed for Indian roads and buyers. If Tesla enters the market, will it spark an EV revolution or simply dominate the premium segment, leaving local brands to cater to the masses? And then there's the wild card, companies like BYD, the Chinese EV giant, which is also eyeing a larger presence in India. If Tesla delays its entry too long, will it lose the first-mover advantage to other global brands willing to adapt faster? And what about the customers? Tesla has a cult-like following in India, with fans eagerly waiting for the first deliveries. But excitement doesn't always translate into sales. India is an extremely price-sensitive market, and while Tesla's cars are packed with cutting-edge technology, they come at a cost. Will Tesla be able to price its cars competitively? Or will it have to localize production sooner than expected to avoid the steep import taxes? At the same time, the clock is ticking. India has set ambitious targets for electric vehicle adoption, and the government is offering incentives to push EV sales. If Tesla waits too long, it risks missing out on the wave of early adopters who are already switching to electric. The company is at a crossroads. Every decision from here on will shape Tesla's future in India. Will it finally take the plunge, or will history repeat itself, leaving Indian fans disappointed once again? The uncertainty remains, but one thing is clear: something big is about to happen. As Tesla inches closer to making its move, the tension is reaching a boiling point. The job listings, the government negotiations, the shifting market dynamics, everything is leading up to a moment of decision. But will Tesla finally commit, or will another roadblock emerge at the last second? Behind closed doors, discussions are intensifying. The Indian government is holding firm on its Make in India stance, pushing Tesla to set up local production instead of simply importing cars. Meanwhile, reports suggest that Tesla is considering a compromise, bringing in a limited number of imported cars first, testing the waters, and then deciding on a factory. But will that be enough to satisfy both sides? If Tesla moves too cautiously, it risks falling behind in a market that is already changing fast. If it moves too aggressively, it could face operational hurdles that slow things down. Then there's the competition, waiting and watching. Tata Motors is expanding its EV lineup. Mahindra is ramping up production, and foreign brands like BYD and Hyundai are stepping in with their own electric offerings. Tesla may have global dominance, but in India, it is still an outsider. If it doesn't enter soon, will the market move on without it? Even Tesla's die-hard fans are starting to ask tough questions. Will Tesla launch its most expensive models first, making it a luxury brand only for a select few? Or will it bring in a more affordable option that appeals to a wider audience? Many are hoping for a Model 3 or Model Y launch, but without a gigafactory in India, pricing remains a major challenge. Social media is buzzing with speculation, rumors, and impatient excitement. Every small move from Tesla is being analyzed for hidden clues. And just when it seems like an announcement is imminent, a new layer of uncertainty emerges. Will the government ease import duties temporarily? Will Tesla commit to a local plant, or will negotiations drag on? The stakes have never been higher, and the final decision could change everything.
And how much worse could this night get before it was over? The air was thick with tension. Every second that passed felt stretched, like a rope pulled too tight, ready to snap. The wedding guests weren't just watching anymore. They were waiting, holding their breath, expecting something to happen. No one knew what, but everyone could feel it. The officers, the family, the bride with tears streaking her face. It was a moment frozen in time, teetering on the edge of something bigger. James' wrists ached from the tight cuffs, but he barely noticed. His focus was on the lead officer, the one who was now shifting uncomfortably under the weight of dozens of eyes, dozens of cameras recording every move. The situation had escalated beyond what they expected. Maybe they thought they could handle this quietly, get in, make the arrest, leave without pushback. But now there was no easy way out. Michelle stepped even closer, her voice sharp. If you don't release him now, you'll have a lawsuit before the night is over. You'll have to explain why you arrested a federal agent, without cause, in front of multiple witnesses and live recordings. She tilted her head slightly. I hope your department is ready for that kind of attention. The younger officer shifted on his feet, clearly nervous now. He glanced at his superior, waiting for a response, but the lead officer's face remained unreadable. He was stalling. Then the sound of approaching sirens cut through the night. Another set of flashing lights appeared down the street. Another vehicle. This time, not just a patrol car, something bigger. A black SUV rolled to a stop. The doors opened, and two men in suits stepped out. Their presence alone changed everything. They weren't local police. They weren't regular law enforcement. These were federal agents. The crowd murmured, the tension twisting into something new, uncertainty. Even the officers looked surprised. The lead officer straightened up, clearly realizing he might be in over his head. One of the agents, a tall man with sharp eyes, stepped forward, pulling out his credentials. Special Agent Richardson, Department of Justice. His tone was controlled but firm. We need to have a conversation, now. The lead officer hesitated, then nodded stiffly. We were responding to a suspect match. Richardson didn't blink. You're detaining a CIA operative at a private event without evidence. Do you have an arrest warrant? The officer didn't answer. The silence stretched too long. That was all the confirmation Richardson needed. The other agent turned to James, his expression unreadable. Are you injured? James gave a small shake of his head. He was fine, physically at least. Richardson looked back at the lead officer. You're going to remove those cuffs. A flicker of resistance flashed across the officer's face, but he knew he had no choice. The cameras were on. The DOJ was here. The pressure was mounting from every side. Slowly, almost reluctantly, he stepped forward and unlocked the cuffs. James exhaled as he pulled his arms forward, rubbing his sore wrists. He stood up slowly, not saying a word, but locking eyes with the man who had just humiliated him in front of his family. The tension wasn't gone. If anything, it was worse now, because this wasn't over. Not yet. James flexed his wrists, feeling the burn where the cuffs had been. The moment should have felt like a victory. He was free. The officers had been forced to back down. The DOJ was here, watching everything, but something still wasn't right. He could feel it in his gut. The way the lead officer avoided eye contact. The tension in the air that hadn't eased, even with his release. This wasn't just a mistake. It was something bigger. Richardson turned to the officers, his expression unreadable. I want to see the original report that led to this arrest. Now. The lead officer hesitated. His hand twitched toward his radio, then stopped. He was caught, and he knew it. If he admitted they had nothing solid, it could mean serious trouble. But if he kept pushing, it could be worse. Then, before he could answer, his radio crackled to life. "All units, we have an update on the suspect description," a voice came through. "Correction on height and build. Suspect is 6'4", approximately 250 pounds. Armed and last seen near." The voice cut off suddenly, as if someone had silenced it on purpose. James' stomach dropped. He wasn't 6'4", he wasn't 250 pounds, he wasn't even close. And yet, they still tackled him, still threw him to the ground, still cuffed him in front of his family. The pieces weren't adding up. The younger officer took a half step back. He had heard it too. His eyes darted between James and his superior, like he was putting the puzzle together in real time.